Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. You know, a few days back, I did a video where I talked about another gun channel who had kind of thumbed his nose at the U.S. government and got arrested. And I was saying how I support when people engage in civil disobedience to actually say a big F-U to the government, especially the ATF. Well, a lot of people seem to disagree with me, and they don't seem to understand the point I'm making. A lot of people are saying, you know, when you do stuff like that and you actually do it out in the open, you're just inviting trouble, so I got no sympathy for you. Or people are saying, no, when they do stuff like that, they just draw interest from the government and makes it to where the rest of us can't do it. Well, it's not the case of the latter there, surely, because what they were doing is something the government had told them was illegal. And basically what the government had told them was illegal was to give people this knowledge and possibly the ability to do something that most people know how to do anyway, which is create an automatic sear for an AR-15. And they did not do it sneakily. They did do it out in the open. So those people that say, well, they did it in the open, so they're asking for trouble. They must want trouble. You're not getting the point here. The point is, if you're going to fight back against the government and fight back against an unconstitutional law, it has to be out in the open. The very fact that they did it so blatantly is why it's a big middle finger to the government and the ATF. If they were doing it behind the scenes and just trying to get away with it, if they were doing it on the down low, as kids these days say, well, then I wouldn't have as much sympathy for them, because then I would say, well, their desire for profit overwhelmed their desire to not be criminals. But the very fact that they did do it out in the open and did draw attention to themselves, and now they do have standing to fight a ridiculous law, because the way the ATF is interpreting this law, it's basically, like I said, making knowledge illegal, because no one is building an automatic weapon. No one is telling you to make a sear to make an automatic weapon. And also, if you own a sear that could make a gun an automatic, but you never put it in a gun, are you still a criminal? Well, according to the ATF, you are. But the very fact that they did do this out in the open, where the government could see them, they were very flagrant about it, that's what makes it okay. That's what makes it a case of someone actually thumbing their nose at the government and saying, go ahead, prosecute us. And we'll see if your stupid laws get to stand. Because someone has to be damaged before they can have standing to sue the government over things like this. So when you do something blatant that they have told you not to do, and you do it in a very open way so that you say, come and get me, well, that is sacrificing yourself to get standing. That's why I support that so much. That's what's more important to me than someone trying to get away with something. You know, it's like with bump stocks and things like that. That's not thumbing your nose at the government. That's trying to get around things. That's doing something you can say, hey, this isn't illegal, until they tell you it's illegal. But it's a way to make a profit by going around an unconstitutional law. Doesn't do anything to get rid of the law. Doing something that's blatantly illegal, according to the ATF, which I don't believe the ATF has the right to declare things illegal, but they do. I think every ruling they make is unconstitutional if it hasn't been preceded by actions by the federal government, the Congress. But that's a side video there. Like I'm saying, you know, if you're just trying to get around an unconstitutional law, you're not doing anything to change it. When you do something directly illegal that they've told you is illegal, well, then you're risking yourself to get standing so you can sue. And that is something I highly support. I'm a big fan of civil disobedience when it comes to change. Sometimes you got to inconvenience people. Sometimes you got to make the government sit up and take notice. I love all these people that talk civil war, but then as soon as someone breaks a little law, they're like, oh, well, they deserve what they get. How could you possibly say, oh, I'm going to rise up against the government when the time comes, if every time someone gets on the wrong side of the government, you go, oh, yeah, you get them. They shouldn't have done that. Makes you seem like a real hypocrite to me. So I wanted to kind of clarify there for all the people who said that these people deserve what they're getting because they so flagrantly did what they did. The fact that they did it so flagrantly is what gives them, in my opinion, credibility. Now, could I be wrong? Could they just be incredibly stupid? That's always a possibility. That's always a possibility on this channel too. Sometimes it's not just a possibility, it's a reality. But like I said, if you were going to do this the right way, they did it the right way. They did an act of civil disobedience, a big FU to the ATF and the government, and that's the way it should be done. I don't understand why some people are like, yeah, fight the government, but be real polite about it and nice and don't break the law, because you're not really doing anything then. So you kind of got it backwards. The very fact that they did it in the open, yeah, they might be asking for it, but that's why you should support them, because they were asking for it. They were risking themselves to possibly change an unconstitutional law. All right, everybody, with that being said, I want to move on and answer a question that I received from a viewer. They asked me, what do I think of chest rigs, especially for camping, hiking, etc., and do they have any advantages or disadvantages? Well, I actually like chest rigs. I have one. I use it when camping or hiking. And as far as advantages and disadvantages, they do have some. First, let's talk about disadvantages. Whenever you're carrying a chest rig, there is a chance, because of the way you're standing or whatever, that you're actually drawing the gun while flagging yourself. Either your arm, your leg. I have been hiking before with a chest rig on, be standing with my foot on a rock, saw something that if it had come at me, I might have had to draw my gun. And then I noticed, oh, my gun is pointed right at my femoral artery because of the way my leg is up. I've got one leg up on a rock. So I wouldn't want to be in a position where I have to draw quickly while pointing a gun at a place that could kill me very quickly if I accidentally fired the gun. So that's really the big negative about chest rigs. It's like shoulder harnesses, shoulder rigs. You run the risk of flagging yourself. So you just have to be extra careful when you're drawing. Same thing with a chest rig. Be aware of where your gun's pointed at all times, how you're standing, etc. Now, as far as advantages, they have a lot of advantages, especially when camping and hiking. One is when you're going through brush or climbing over rocks or anything like that, they are far less likely to hook on something than if you've got something on your waist. I can't count how many times before I started using a chest rig that I had my holster hook on a branch or clang it against a rock and be like, that's my gun. So chest rigs are really good for that. They allow you more mobility. They don't hook on things, etc. Also, another thing, if something ever pounces on you, a bear, a bobcat, a cougar, a bobcat you can throw off, but a cougar, mountain lion, cougars and mountain lions actually, the cats and the aggressive middle-aged women. If they ever get you and got you pinned, shoulder holster is much easier to get to than your side holster, especially while still being able to defend your upper body and your face. So much better, much easier to get to. So that's another huge advantage of a chest rig. So I don't know about everyday carry. You'd have to be wearing something kind of special or it's going to be hard to get to. Like if you had a pullover over it, it'd be hard to get to. Now, if you had a zip up, yeah, I would have, carry it every day if you want to. But be careful of what you're flagging and who you're flagging because the gun is going to be pointed kind of sideways and down. Now, if you're going to carry it camping and hiking, I think it's an excellent choice. So I can't really say anything negative about it other than I said, like the flagging issues, because pretty much every other aspect of a chest rig, in my opinion, is a positive when you're out camping and hiking. And I would suggest anyone out there who wanted to try one to try it, because I'm betting you'll like it. All right, everybody, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed the show and I hope you come back again tomorrow. Until then, I just want to thank everybody for coming and remind everyone out there to always carry and stay safe until I see you again. Damn it. I am a grown-ass man.